If you've followed us through the years, you know that we love to hunt ducks in fields. Now, it's highly weather dependent and it's definitely based on your location, but hungry mallards are hard to beat. Field hunts are most definitely highly weather dependent. The colder it is, the stronger that need to feed in a dry field. Now, that's not to say that you can't shoot them in a field when it's warmer. The odds are just a little better stacked in your favor the colder it gets. And it seems like in the past, the goal would always be, let's go out, let's find cut corn, and chances are you're gonna find ducks that were hitting it in that stubble. But as time goes on, it sure seems like you're seeing ducks in that corn stubble less and less. what seems to be becoming more and more common are birds are hitting those fields that are worked up. They're hitting those fields with little to no cover. And if you were to go to two fields side by side, one with stubble and one that's been worked up, that field with stubble is going to have way more food in it. But the birds are making a sacrifice here. I think they're going to a food source that has less food, but it also gives them a little bit better opportunity to navigate it, to land in it, and it's harder for us to hide in. So they're figuring out that they're safer in those environments, in those fields where there's not as much cover. They're not getting shot out there nearly as much as when they land in that corn stubble. So it's definitely harder for you and I to try to trick them. But the good thing about hunters nowadays and the companies is we're now having the ability, we're now getting the chance to hunt those low cover fields with those upright blinds. And no matter how gaudy they look, they're working for now. I think give it time, give it 3, 4, 5 years, and the birds are going to have them figured out, and we're going to have to go to some other method of hunting those situations. Not only are we seeing more and more birds hit those stubble fields, but they're also hitting bean fields, it seems like, way more than they used to. And even in cold situations, when you think the carbohydrates in corn would be king, to give them energy to get through those bitter cold temperatures, we're still seeing birds hitting those bean fields. And it all boils down to them adapting. They've been pounded for years in cut cornfields, and they're learning that they're a little bit safer, even though they have to work a little bit harder for food because there's not as much in those worked up fields. And that's why I think you're starting to see ducks hit those worked up fields more and more, because you and I have a harder time hunting them. And they're learning it. They're adapting to the pressure that hunters put on them. And if you hear stories from old timers saying, back in the day it used to be like this or used to be like that, take note, because we are experiencing the same things. Birds have always adapted. They will always continue to adapt for the species to continue on, and we're witnessing that right now. And so for us to continue to be successful in years to come, we've got to adapt with them.